Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Isaac. If you are watching this video, you know, well, if you don't know, let me fill you in. This is not our regular videos, guys. This is part of my series, Isaac's Top 10s. What that means is I'm gonna bring you guys my top 10 players by position. The NFL, like we talked about before, they like to do a top 100. You can't compare quarterbacks to linemen to receivers to cornerbacks to linebackers to running backs. You can't compare them. You can't. They're all great in their individual positions, and I'm going to rank them in their individual positions. All right. This video is going to be on wide receivers and running backs. So I'm going to give you guys my top 10s in those positions. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos in the series, guys. I'm going to bring you guys all the rest of the positions. We're going to give you guys quarterbacks. This video is, like I said, is wide receivers and running backs. Let's get straight into this one. All right. So let's go. All right, guys, so with the wide receivers, we're going to start off with number 10, Allen Robinson out of Chicago for the Bears. He is just an athletic receiver. He's been awesome since he left Jacksonville. Even in Jacksonville, he was awesome. This guy has the ability to make plays against the very best that there is. And, I mean, he's went up against guys like Jalen Ramsey, Marshawn Lattimore, and this guy just makes plays against them. We saw the big play he made against the Detroit Lions in Week 1. This guy is awesome, had himself 1,250 yards, and that's with all the changes at quarterback there in Chicago last year. And he had himself a total of 6 touchdowns. Great in my books. And yeah, that's your number 10 guy on my list, Allen Robinson. We're going to move on now to the number 9 guy, and we got Tyler Lockett out of Seattle. Bro had himself 1,054 yards with 10 touchdowns, had himself a couple games with 3 total touchdowns. We remember all the sick plays in the back of the end zone, all the big diving catches he made. This guy is clutch. Without DK Metcalf there, they still got a lot in Tyler Lockett. And Tyler Lockett's a beast, man. I love him. 100 receptions this year, and great fit at number 9 right there for me. At number 8, guys, we're going to go with my personal favorite, one of my favorite receivers in the NFL right now in this day. It's A.J. Brown. He had himself 1,075 yards with 11 touchdowns in his sophomore year of the NFL. Bro had himself big plays. We remember that big play against Baltimore where he was just not going to be stopped. We remember the big play against Houston where he caught the game-winning touchdown. This guy is awesome. He makes one-handed snags. He could break away. He could do it all. And he's got one of the best athletic physiques I've ever seen in a receiver. I love to see this guy in his rest of his career. A.J. Brown's just awesome. And yeah, that's my number 8 receiver of the 2020 season. Moving on to number 7, we got Calvin Ridley, who had himself a big year, had himself 90 receptions, 1,374 yards with 9 touchdowns. And I mean, we all know Julio Jones plays for the Tennessee Titans now, but without that even happening, we could safely say that Calvin Ridley established himself as the number 1 receiver out there in Atlanta. And this guy is amazing. He has great breaks off the ball. He knows how to plant his feet and just cut across. He knows how to leave the corners in his dust. And this guy is just a great route runner, a great playmaker, and a great receiver out there in Atlanta. He is the number 7 receiver of the 2020 season in my books. Moving on, another guy who had himself a phenomenal sophomore season. One guy who broke out. According to the NFL Top 100, he is a top 5 receiver. I'm talking about DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. Had himself 1,303 receiving yards, 10 total touchdowns on the year. DK Metcalf, he was making big plays on big-time players such as Stephon Gilmore. He had that big play where he broke away against Dallas and Trevon knocked the ball out of his hands, forcing a safety. And then what did he do? He made the game-winning touchdown that same game later on. This guy knows how to face adversity and come back and just do amazing, and he's doing a big job for those Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson loves having him on that team, and I mean, I would love it too. DK Metcalf, my number 6 receiver of the year. Moving on, guys, I don't know how much you guys are going to like this, but he barely cracked the top 5 in my books. Barely. Could have been a little lower. Well, yeah, a lot of you guys aren't going to like this. I got number 5, DeAndre Hopkins. Although he had 115 receptions with 1,407, I believe that's second in the league overall at receiving yards. He only had 6 touchdowns, and DeAndre Hopkins, in my eyes, is a guy who should be having double-digit touchdown statistics. I believe he and Kyler Murray aren't as great as a fit as everybody hoped he could be. He's done way better with way less. And like I said, great receptions, great yards. But I just feel like sometimes he and the Arizona Cardinals couldn't get in the end zone as much as they should be able to. I'm hoping for a better year coming this year for the Arizona Cardinals and DeAndre Hopkins. But number 5 is a perfect fit for me in the top 10. And he's number 2 in the NFL top 100, and I disagree with that totally. You guys are going to hear this in my reaction video or whatever I do on that. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, my number 5 receiver of the 2020 season. One guy who did better than DeAndre Hopkins, in my personal, honest, professional opinion, as a rookie, Justin Jefferson, guys. He's a freaking beast. Minnesota rookie had himself 1,400 receiving yards with 7 total touchdowns, 88 receptions. Look, he only had 7 yards less than DeAndre Hopkins, and he had about 27 less receptions than him. This guy is a beast. This guy knows what he's doing on the field. He's only a rookie, so he's only going to get better. We all know Justin Jefferson is the reason people do the gritty in the NFL. This guy's awesome. He has the swagger. He has everything it takes. And yeah, Justin Jefferson's awesome, guys. Moving on, at number 3, we are going to have Tyreek Hill. Yeah, this guy's awesome as well. We remember the game against the Buccaneers and I'm quoting this directly out of the statistics on ESPN.com, all right? In the game against Tampa Bay, Tyreek Hill had a total of 269 yards with 3 touchdowns. 2 of those touchdowns were in the first quarter, and also 203 of those 269 yards happened in the first quarter for the Kansas City Chiefs and Tyreek Hill. That is freaking amazing. That is unbelievable. And bro, that just talks about how good his season was. It was pretty much that right there. And Tyreek, man, he's short and he's doing all this. So much respect to that, all right? Moving on, at number 2, we got Stephon Diggs, who I really believe is the reason why Josh Allen was so freaking good. This guy had 127 receptions. I believe that was the best in the league last year. Also, I know he led the receiving yards with 1,535 yards and 8 total touchdowns. This guy was awesome. Like I said, a big reason why Josh Allen and these Bills were so good this past season. And I just see them just doing so well. They got Emmanuel Sanders now. Stephon Diggs is the best receiver that you could ask for. Stephon Diggs is very shifty, runs his routes very well, knows how to get open, and we saw how great he makes the team when he's on it. So number 2, Stephon Diggs. And my number 1 receiver is, of course, the great Davante Adams. Bro had himself 115 receptions with 1,374 total receiving yards and 18 touchdowns. He led the league in receiving touchdowns, and he missed about 3 to 4 games, which is quite freaking amazing considering Stephon Diggs played a whole season and Davante Adams wasn't too far behind him and had 10 total more touchdowns than Stephon Diggs. So, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. If that doesn't tell you Davante Adams was such a beast last year, then I don't know what else tells you that. But there's my receiver list, guys. 1 through 10, 10 through 1. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, I'm sorry if you guys don't like it. This is my personal, honest opinion on last season's stats and how everyone did at the receiver position. But yeah, that's my 1 through 10 list. It's totally different from the NFL because I'm different from the NFL. I actually am not as biased as you think. I hope you guys understand that Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are in this list because I'm not biased. All right. So that's my top 10 receivers. And now let's get into the running backs. Yeah. Shall we? Let's get into it. All right, guys. So we're going to jump straight into running backs. Here is my list for the top 10 running backs of the 2020 season. And we're going to start off right at number 10. We're going to go Ronald Jones. Guy out of Tampa Bay, had himself 978 total yards with 7 touchdowns, was a big part of that offense that went to the Super Bowl, had big runs throughout the playoffs. I don't know if you guys remember that huge play he had that went for 99 yards. That was an amazing game. I had him on Fantasy Football DraftKings, by the way, and he got me some money that weekend. So thank you, Ronald Jones. Moving on at number 9, we got James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bro came out of nowhere, was an undrafted rookie. Had himself 1,000-yard season, 1,070 to be exact, with 7 total touchdowns. Him and Travis Etienne were expected to share the backfield this year, but season-ending injury to Travis is gonna give James Robinson another go at it, and let's see if he puts up even more yards this year. All right, he was a big surprise last year. Let's see what he does this year. Right above him, we got the Bears running back David Montgomery, who had himself 1,070 yards as well, with 8 total touchdowns. I liked what he did this year. He was more consistent than what he was the last year in Chicago. I really like it. It really looks like he's their number 1 running back, which I believe he is. And bro's awesome. I mean, he's a solid pick in fantasy football. He's a guy who's going to get more touches, and I believe he's going to be having double-digit touchdowns this year. All right, we're going to go to number 7. Jonathan Taylor, the rookie out of Indianapolis, had himself 1,169 total yards with 11 total touchdowns. I remember at one point, this guy was so much money on DraftKings because he was so good out of nowhere. This guy is awesome. Is a guy that the Indianapolis Colts could really build around, and we could really see true results in the running game by Indianapolis because of this guy. He is so big as well. A lot of people don't like to tackle him. He could be putting up numbers like Derrick Henry in a couple years, but we got to see what this Indianapolis line gives him, and that's our number 7 running back of the 2020 season. Moving on to number 6, another one, guys, that I don't like myself, but the stats don't lie, all right? Although he had 16 total touchdowns and, remember, a 6-touchdown game against the Minnesota Vikings on Christmas, he only had 932 yards total rushing. And as a running back, you need more. Yes, I'm talking about New Orleans, Alvin Kamara. Great guy, great football player, deserves to be high on the top 100. Yes, I believe it. I love it. He's awesome. But we're talking about running backs here and rushing the ball and all. And he was a great football player. When it came to running the ball, he had less than 1,000 yards. And that speaks out more to me than everything else. I don't know. It's just something to me when a running back doesn't perform at a 1,000-yard season. He didn't do all that. He deserves to be on my top 10, which he is at number 6. But there was plenty other running backs who did pretty much better than he did. And I'm not going to hate on Alvin Kamara, though. He was awesome. I love watching him. So that's my number 6 running back of the 2020 season. We're going on to number 5 now, halfway through, and we are at Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. Had himself 1,104 yards with 9 total touchdowns. This guy is a reliable running back, one of the first reliable running backs that Aaron Rodgers has ever had. This guy is awesome to watch. Although I don't like the Green Bay Packers and I generally don't like Aaron Jones, he's great to have, and I have him on fantasy this year, and I'm excited, and let's see what he does, guys. At number 4, now we got Las Vegas's Josh Jacobs. Had himself 1,165 yards, 12 total touchdowns rushing the ball. Bro was awesome. I love watching it. I like Josh Jacobs, man. I loved his story. I loved when he got drafted to the Raiders. I loved his gameplay, and he's awesome. He deserves more love, and that's what he got from me at number 4. Josh Jacobs had himself a great year. Was really unstoppable for the Raiders offense at certain points. Was a guy who delivered every weekend. Well-deserving spot at number 4, in my honest opinion. At number 3, we got Nick Chubb, one of the leaders of the rushing race. This guy obviously didn't compare to Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry when it came to the rushing yards, but this guy was amazing considering he didn't play most of the year. Had himself, like I said, 1,067 yards with 12 touchdowns. He was one of the big reasons why the Cleveland Browns are so freaking good and have one of the best running games in the league, if not the best, with Kareem Hunt. This guy's awesome, and he's going to deliver for years to come, guys. Watch out for Nick Chubb. At number 2 now, obviously, we got Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook at number 2, we're not going to take shine away from him because he had himself 1,557 yards on the ground with 16 total touchdowns. Only shy one from Derrick Henry, the guy who led, we all know what Derrick Henry did. Anyways, Dalvin Cook is coming off of his ACL tear. Bro, I thought he was not going to be good no more. I had him 1 year, his rookie year of fantasy, and he tore me apart, man. I hated it. He let me down, came back, and has been totally awesome. He's a guy that everybody loves to watch and a guy everyone goes straight after for fantasy football. And Let's see what he does this year. Let's see if he could keep himself healthy and continue his success with the Minnesota Vikings. And at number 1, the king himself, Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans, had himself 2,027 yards on the ground. I believe he became the 8th player to ever reach 2,000 yards rushing, and he had himself 17 touchdowns. If you had Derrick Henry on your fantasy football team, I don't even need to explain why he's number 1. This guy's awesome. Had himself multiple 100+ games, had himself multiple 200+ games, had himself multiple touchdown games. Bro was just awesome from beginning to the end of the season, and we all know with Derrick Henry, only gets better. So let's see what he brings us next year. That is my list, 1 through 10 running backs of the 2020 season. I hope you guys like it, and yeah, there it is. That's my list for running backs. You guys saw my list for receivers. Let me know what you guys think, all right? And if you guys have something to say, put it in the comments. I read all the comments. I don't really get much. Anyways, like I said, if you guys have anything to say, leave it down in the comments. I will respond to as much as you as I can. And yeah, guys, those are my top 10s of the 2020 season. That is running backs and receivers. And in the next video, you're gonna check out the quarterbacks. And we still got tight ends. Football's coming back, guys. I'm just so excited. So I'll make sure to get you guys all ready for this upcoming season, and let's get straight. Let's get on the ground running with it, all right? So let me know if you guys liked the video. Please leave a thumbs up if you did, and like, subscribe, share the videos. Let your people know that Isaac knows what he's talking about, because you know what? I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to football. I bet I know more than you. No, not you, him. Anyways, guys, I hope you like the videos, and more are going to keep coming, and be sure to keep coming back, all right? I'll see you guys next time. So peace.